If you have been financially affected by the COVID pandemic, then this message is for you. Are you among the many folks who have lost their jobs, or if you've been furloughed or working from home at a reduced pay? If you have credit card debt and cannot make your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros can help. Call us to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. If you are struggling with credit card debt, we can help. Call 800-591-5517. That's 800-591-5517.
This is the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the G Podcast, episode 72. I can't even say it right. I'm in a good mood, y'all. So I don't know where this show is going. I'm just going to tell you right up front. I mean, I'll tell you why I'm in such a good mood. But let me get a couple of historical things out of the way as we start. You know, as we tape the episode today, and I got to say this up front, Bloody Sunday in Selma. Kudos to all the folks. 56 years later, first time without John Lewis as the leader. But you can still go to selmajubilee.com, streaming on their Facebook page. And I know as guys get this, as you get the podcast later, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be probably on demand, because as we tape it, the events are actually going on. Okay, but we'll make sure we have whatever information on the podcast page. Also, got to say to the ladies, happy Women's History Day as we start. No, it's actually month.
Excuse you, National Women's History Month. Don't cut me short. Thank you.
I knew.
That's right.
I knew.
I know that's right.
See what I'm saying? I knew I had to get it right. Let me say it. Happy Women's History Month.
National Women's History Month. We'll give you a pass today because you held me down last week, Tommy B.
Okay, I can say it. I got 3 more chances, so 4 maybe. So we'll see. You can go to castropolis.net,
He held all of us
y'all.
down last week, didn't he?
I did. I sure enough did. So y'all give me a break. Castropolis.net. And we are saluting all the female podcasters on castropolis.net this month. Go to the website and click that link. It's there, and you'll see all the fabulous ladies of Castropolis and all the great things that they do. I got to give them a hand, you know. Yes. Especially the ladies on this podcast. I'm going to introduce them shortly. But this week, y'all, I'm in a great mood, man. I'm going to tell you, I got to tell you that, you know, things have been so miserable, like in 2020, prior to the election. And you know, on the G Podcast, you know, we cover news, so we had to deal with all the crap, you know, the politics, you know, we get into the pop culture, the hot tea, but the COVID relief bill passed, and damn it, the checks are going out, y'all. So kudos.
The House passed it, Tommy B?
Yes. Well, the Senate has passed. The House is going to be a breeze. Pretty much. It's only going to take a couple of days. The Senate was the hurdle. And even having to go back and negotiate with the centrist Democrats, it was really a chore. And I got to give it up to, I give Schumer hell on this podcast, but I got to give him, I'm going to give him some air horn, because he really did hold his ground. I'm going to give it up to him. Also, y'all, coming to America.
Do Jesus. Hallelujah.
Black folks got some comic relief this weekend, courtesy of Amazon Prime. And y'all, I'm going to play the song in a few minutes. Bruno Mars. All I got to say is, Bruno that made it hard for R&B. Anybody in R&B right now? Let me just tell you, go back to the studio. And
that includes Robin Thicke.
If you finished something before Friday, I say listen to Bruno and go back in the studio, because damn, he'd have made it hard. And I'm gonna ask our special guest, and is he the fourth Murphy? Is he the fourth Murphy son? I don't know. I got to ask him.
Let me see. I think I'm the second, actually.
The second.
No.
Yeah.
Well, if you count the white one, I might be the third.
y'all,
So,
if you from the Queen City, you know the voice, man. Accomplished radio personality, digital audio host, entrepreneur, morning show, podcaster, the one, the only, y'all, BJ Murphy. Can I say it like the Eddie, like Charlie Murphy? BJ Murphy
Don't
is
forget
in.
it.
What's that? Go
BJ
ahead.
Murphy is an activist. Don't cut him short.
Oh
please.
no,
He
I
is
gotta
an
say
activist.
that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
BJ
toss
Murphy
it up.
is in the building.
don't say that too loud because I got banned on Charlotte radio for being an activist.
That's what I'm saying. So,
How y'all doing?
yeah, I'm doing great, man. Until he gets cleared on more affiliates, we're gonna keep the activist off for just a minute. Let him get in there.
That's right. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
this is great, man. I've always
yeah, go ahead.
I've always admired you from a distance, and I'm glad we finally hooked up, man.
No, man. Let me tell y'all, man. BJ Murphy is one of the guys who really he's been doing it for a minute, but he's one of the guys who has really been flexible in terms of reaching his audience, and he's becoming even more flexible now. And a lot of guys really are still trying to maybe hold on to the past, and BJ's really going forward, man. He's doing his thing. So kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
And before, tell us what you're doing real quick. We're going to get into news, after I introduce the co-host, but tell us what you're doing with BJ Murphy, the company right now. Tell us what you're doing. Go ahead, man.
Okay. Well, I'm doing podcasting. I'm doing streaming morning shows on internet stations and radio and terrestrial. I'm on a couple of stations, but what I'm mainly targeting is doing the podcasting. I'm trying to be like you, man, because you got a podcast network.
Okay.
I'm getting some shows. I'm producing some shows. We got a new show, a mental health show, and a relationship show. But I have a podcast called the 20-Minute Morning Show. And we started it back in January of 2019. Mm-hmm. And it was supposed to be a daily show. And I did a daily show every day until me and my co-host fell out. And I told him to go get your own damn show. When we started arguing.
Were y'all in the same studio, fisticuffs?
Tell me what to do with my own podcast. So I had a sister, man. She you would like her, man. She was very outspoken. And we tried to make up, but I just couldn't put these pieces back together again. So I moved on and hopefully we'll get back together. It's a real entertaining show where we're very, very raw with one another.
Yeah, you would
think that we hated each other. Yeah. All the show. But I really enjoy podcasting. And the more I learned about it, man, it's a fascinating industry.
Yes, it is.
Because these people have actually created an industry. I went to the Rain Summit in New York in 2019, and I was the only black dude there, as well as the dude that was like serving hors d'oeuvres, at the at the summit. And NPR, Google, Triton, all the big who's who. It was like the Academy Awards of podcasting, and I'm sitting in there. Yeah. I'm like, oh hell, these people got an industry, and man, they making billions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Yep. And because they have the platform to push these podcasts out, they keep the money in-house. It's like an exclusive club.
Yeah, man.
When you get to the upper echelons of podcasting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we all going to do together because, black people are the heavy users of cell phones and social media.
Amen.
All we got to do is just come up with our own little agency so we can push our content out. And over the course of time, we'll have an audience. That's what I believe in.
I agree, man. Good stuff. BJ Murphy. Had him on the same weekend as Eddie Murphy. So, he the second Murphy.
Tommy B.
Hey, go ahead. Wally. What you got?
Is Castropolis making millions?
I'll let you know.
Okay.
How about I let you know off mic? That would be a no. Hey y'all, but let me get to my co-host, and I'm gonna get to the person who just asked that question. So let me get to my co-host, my brother. As he laughs, he's laughing. My brother from another mother. He's sitting on the porch at his mama's house right now doing a podcast. You know he's right. The pride of Forsyth, Georgia, as he sits on his mama's patio. The porch. Okay. Shout out to Columbus, Georgia as well. Forsyth, Georgia. 30-year military vet. He inspires us every week. Y'all give it up for Vi, y'all. On his mama's porch. You live in the basement too? No, he's just visiting. He's just on the porch. Visiting. Okay, we're gonna see how the internet. We're gonna pay attention to his internet. Plus y'all, he had. I'm gonna check in. I'm gonna ask you, how's your COVID shot doing? You doing okay?
I'm doing great.
You're doing great. Okay.
Effects right now. I'm just doing great. Mm-hmm.
He took the vax.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
We check with him. That's what I'm saying. We check with him every week. And the lady with the questions. The lady with the million questions, the pride of MacTown, really and truly, she's a poet, community activist, entrepreneur. She motivates us to make millions, and she motivates us with poetic peace. Y-O is in the building.
What's up, y'all?
Y-O. Let me ask. Y-O, this is the most animated Y-O has been in like 6 weeks since she started the show. She coming in asking questions. Come on, were you hanging out in the ATL at the NBA All-Star Game shenanigans last night? That's a no.
That's a no.
Okay.
Negative.
I'm just checking.
I mean, I'm in the MacTown, but I guess I missed last week. I miss y'all.
Yeah, we missed you too. As long as you weren't hanging out with the one and only, our digital guru, who was hooking up last night. Were you writing down the hot tea last night downtown ATL? Were you there?
All I had to do was look out the window. I have not left my residence since 4:41 p.m. on Friday afternoon.
Wow. What? So we're not going to get into it now because I want to save it for news and the tea. But how bad was it? I mean, as we tape the show, it's All-Star weekend. So, LeBron was really outspoken, and several players were very outspoken about not doing the All-Star game here. They went ahead and did it. Silva, the commissioner, said, hey, we got to do this. They got to get the money. They got to make this money back. So these guys went on with the game. And as we tape the podcast now, I'm looking up and I'm watching all the preliminary stuff. But how was it? Because they had 24, how many shootings in 24 hours? Yeah,
that. And then it's interesting how there was a rapper from Atlanta who went to Houston and got shot. Then a rapper from Houston came to Atlanta and he was shot and killed.
Wow.
And then after that, the numbers just kept increasing and increasing. It's just
yeah. I know it's not all related to the All-Star game, but there are a lot of people here right now. And I will tell y'all, I mean, by the time this podcast gets out, it'll all be over. But, I think Mayor Bottoms came out and said, hey, if you're in town, do not misstep because we're going to lock you up. She's already, and they really sent a lot of cease and desist letters out to a lot of these folks who were using the NBA logo. A lot of these folks were using the name NBA. They were shutting them down last night. They were shutting them down. Some folks got it in, though. But, they shut most of it down.
They shut down the 50 Cent 50 grand party.
Okay, they did? Okay.
Yes, Lord, they did. Yeah. Bobby Schmurder just got out of jail, and he came down here, and he is not getting his bag.
Oh, wow.
The city, was aware, and they were monitoring all this because people were very brazen, and they were putting up a lot of information on social media, dumb donkey, stupid move number one.
Yeah.
And they had a command center, and they were shutting things down systematically.
Which they should have.
But Tonya B, didn't you say they aren't selling any tickets? Didn't you send us?
No, that's the thing. I'm coming down here for the All-Star game. There is no game. You cannot buy a ticket. It's limited to NBA players, executive friends, and family, and I'm sure the mayor will be there and a few other, the real dignitaries in Atlanta. But there was a guy on the news from New Jersey who was standing in front of State Farm Arena like they were going to all of a sudden open the doors and say, go buy a ticket. Duh. There are no tickets for sale.
No tickets.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
They just want to come to party and spread COVID.
Don't nobody really want to go to the
exactly
game. They don't really want to go to the game. They just want to hang out.
Grammys. You don't go for the Grammys, you go for the hang. But I mean, the hang was ridiculous. There was an aerial shot on the news last night of West Peachtree, and it looked like Freaknik. All you could see were headlights and tickets.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. And plus, and it didn't help that the weather was good.
No. It was 33 degrees last night. It did not matter. Yeah, it did not matter.
No, I mean, no rain. Today, as we tape the show, it's sunny, blue skies, 60 degrees, 60-something, mid-60s. So, it's the perfect day. Piedmont Park's probably packed. Oh, yeah. All right, y'all, with that, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get our news in with Syracuse Mike. We'll come back. We'll talk to BJ a little bit more, and then we'll get on with the rest of the show. So just kind of hang tight. We'll be right back.
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
While the drop in new coronavirus cases appears to have reached a plateau, there also remains concern about the new variants. The CDC's Dr. Rochelle Walensky.
These variants are a very real threat to our people and our progress. Now is not the time to relax the critical safeguards that we know can stop the spread of COVID-19 in our communities. Not when we are so close.
There is hope that the new Johnson & Johnson one-shot vaccine will help. Millions of doses of the J&J vaccine are being shipped out.
We're now on track to have enough vaccine supply for every adult in America by the end of May.
That's much earlier than the previous timeline of July. Mr. Biden also wants
every educator, school staff member, child care worker to receive at least one shot by the end of the month of March.
The president announced that Merck will help make rival Johnson & Johnson's single-shot COVID-19 vaccine. That's a collaboration similar to what happened during World War II. Civil rights giant Vernon Jordan has died. Jordan was raised in Atlanta and spent decades pushing for greater economic opportunities for black people, including in corporate boardrooms. Jordan worked for the NAACP and the United Negro College Fund before becoming head of the National Urban League in 1971. He was very close to Bill and Hillary Clinton. In a statement, the Clintons said Jordan brought his big brain and strong heart to everything and everybody he touched. The Clintons also mentioned Jordan's role in desegregating the University of Georgia in 1961. He died peacefully Monday night, according to his daughter. Vernon Jordan was 85. The governors of Texas and Mississippi were not too thrilled to hear President Biden refer to their decision to end mask mandates as Neanderthal thinking.
Too bad.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki.
What everybody saw yesterday was a reflection of his frustration and exasperation, which I think many American people have.
Psaki said that doesn't mean Mr. Biden was calling the governors Neanderthals. One Southern governor has decided to wait. Alabama's Kay Ivey.
There's no question that wearing masks has been one of our greatest tools in combating the spread of the virus. That, along with practicing good hygiene and social distancing, has helped us keep more people from getting sick or worse, dying.
Ivey says she'll drop the mandate in about a month if things are okay. In Jackson, Mississippi, Mayor Chokwe Lumumba has sent a letter to the state's governor, Tate Reeves, requesting millions of dollars in funding to deal with the city's third week without water. The mayor is requesting about $47 million in emergency aid for a wide range of water system infrastructure projects. His letter was apparently leaked to reporters by one of the city council members. Hardest hit have been the city's poor and minority communities.
Bill as amended is passed.
All right, what timing? All right, so amended package there passed. Manu Raju, now it will be making its way back to the House before eventually making its way back to the White House for a signature?
Yeah, and you see the number on the screen, important, 50-49. That is straight party line. All Democrats voted yes. All Republicans voted no. And you saw the round of applause. That usually does not happen in the Senate. The Senate, you're actually not supposed to show expressions of support in the Senate. But Democrats are relieved because this has been an arduous undertaking behind the scenes for weeks, Fred. They had been trying to get their caucus in line, negotiate with the House Democrats, try to make sure to sort out all the differences, tried to put in sweeteners to win over key Democratic holdouts. And then they were surprised when they couldn't get Joe Manchin on board yesterday, which led to that 12 hours of keeping one vote open, the longest ever that has happened in American history, in modern history, for a Senate vote to be open that long. But that was needed in order to get all members of their caucus on board, because as you see from this vote, 50-49 vote, all Republicans were no. So they needed to make sure that the Joe Manchins of the world could get behind it. And if Joe Manchin were to support an alternative amendment on jobless benefits, for instance, perhaps that could force some liberal members, potentially in the House, to vote no. So such a delicate compromise on the Democratic side, realizing they could do it with just Democratic votes in this process that they employed to advance it. Successful in doing it here. They'll get it almost certainly to the president's desk in a matter of days. The question will be, will it turn the economy around? Will it help deal with this pandemic? And how will the voters respond?
BJ Murphy.
Yes, sir.
Are you happy with the COVID bill, man?
Well, if black people be able to get some of the money, I've been going to my mailbox looking for some money for the past year.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
What?
I didn't get my taxes back yet.
Wow. You didn't get the last? Wait a minute. You didn't get the last round?
Brother, I ain't get nothing.
Wow.
I got a letter from the IRS talking about I need to send them a form. I told my wife I was pissed, man. But send them another form.
Oh.
So I'm not even counting on getting nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to keep on working.
What about you, Vaughn?
Did you apply for the PPP?
Yeah, the PPP.
Yeah. But the question is, how many people did I apply for the PPP with? Hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you, I'm glad I didn't get it, because some of these Negroes I know in Charlotte. Yeah. I know I have one friend. He got he told me, he said, yeah, man, I got like 5 bank accounts, man. Each one $100,000 in them. I'm wow, brother. How you going to account for that one? Because the IRS, they're going to be coming for these people.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this, man. In the ATL, they are locking down. They are putting some people in jail for this.
Yeah, man.
So
it ain't
the PPP, if you can show that you use your money for payroll or utilities and rent, it's actually like forgiven. There's a loan forgiveness.
But why?
Okay.
When you got people like Baby Blue from Pretty Ricky, and I forgot that athlete's name, when you're going out buying jewelry in the casino gift shop and buying a Maserati and leasing jets, taking vacations and having parties, you need to go to jail.
I'm telling you.
Well, the problem is the fraudulent businesses. I mean, a lot of people are setting up, these shell businesses. And they're cracking down, which they should. I mean, come on, y'all.
Try to do one of those two didn't work. But anyway, what you saying?
What about you, Vi? I'm gonna ask Vi. Allegedly. Hey, man, look. Hey, BJ, your last name Murphy. Don't do that, man.
You're right. Sorry about that.
What about you?
I think it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah. Good.
The people need it, man. Good God, man. I mean, $1,400. You better learn how to make it last. I tell you, I can hold on to a $20 bill now for 6 months.
Oh yeah.
So whatever,
brother.
Whenever they bring that check, I'm ready for it. I got something for it.
I applaud you for that, because I know what you mean. Hey, the other thing is, man, and BJ, you've been around for a minute, man. It amazes me that Texas, Mississippi, luckily Alabama has sense, but all these states where you got this incredible poverty level are against either the virus, getting benefits, and the mask issues where you've got these high rates of death, high rates of hospitalization, and look at Jackson, Mississippi. And I've got friends, I got family in Mississippi. These folks haven't had water for 3 weeks. I mean, you've got about, I think, 22,000 people left. who have not, been able to use drink. They're still under a water boil. It's amazing to me. I mean, what do you say, man, to like these Republican House members, senators who are so adamant against giving the states money?
Well, you know what? I wouldn't blame the brother that's the new mayor there in Jackson. I think he just got there, right?
He just got there,
Yeah, he's got there. So he's trying to do the best he can. But what we suffer from as Black people is horrible leadership.
Yeah.
Like with this COVID-19 thing, like with the governor opening up in Texas, they're opening up in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And, we got these new variants. Mm-hmm. And now that the cases have plateaued, so they were going down like a slope, like a ski mountain, and then they stopped. Yeah. And now we got 3 variants in the United States. And the one they're most concerned with is the B1. Mm-hmm. And this one is from over in Brazil. This is the killer one. And these variants, they kill you quick here.
Yeah.
So we're going right back up. And later this year, we haven't even seen the worst of this coronavirus.
Yeah.
We are not out of the woods yet. And so you better be careful who you listen to, Black people.
Yeah.
When you listen to these white people make decisions. I got to say this. Listen to this. Now, all the decisions, when you look on TV, Dr. Fauci, all these people, and you listen to all these white people, you trust them to give you guidance, and you go and act on incompetence. And it's all about money. Mm-hmm. It's all about trying to open up the country so they can get paid again. And you are the pawn in this whole thing.
Yeah, so true. I mean, you look at absolutely. What's going on in Texas, what's going on in Mississippi, what's going on even with Georgia when Georgia opened up early last year. And that's the challenge because, we are the ones who are more susceptible to illness and hospitalization and even death.
Let me drop this on you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me drop this on you. So now this is the thing that I always think about, because you listen to my show and I be talking stuff.
I do.
And I'm saying, okay, wait a minute now. Now they didn't want us to have Obamacare.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want us to have even a piece of bread to eat at night. And all of a sudden you care about my health. You want to push me to the front of the line for an experimental vaccine.
Yeah.
But it's an experimental vaccine because it hasn't been licensed, because it is a emergency use drug, and it's not going to be fully licensed by the FDA until the trial is actually completed. And that won't be until 2022.
Wow.
So they're not telling the people that.
Yeah. Are you taking? Have you taken it yet? Because I heard what you said. Like,
no, sir. I'm not taking no vaccine, bro.
I heard what you said.
No, sir. I don't trust these white folks. No, sir.
I just want to kind of see what else happens to other people. Like, I'm watching Vi very closely.
Oh, damn. And what about you, Tonya B? Have you taken it, or you thinking about it? How close are you right now?
I don't qualify. I'm not in the age or health bracket, which I'm actually happy about. And hallelujah. So I don't have a BMI of over 30. So my thing is just being smart and doing what I've been doing for the last year, and I've been tested twice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have COVID. And I think part of this is just being smart.
Yeah. So
when I see people being less than, I lose, forget sympathy, empathy.
Mm-hmm.
I have neither. Because, it's almost like, okay, you're getting what you asked for. All these people that are out here partying and have been partying since Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
We are going to have a surge in Georgia. Again, trust and believe when I tell you that. One thing's for certain, 2 things for sure. They're going to go home. And many of them that have the variant that came here from New York are going to go back home. And as the medical professionals have said here in Georgia, it's not so much that they're going to get it. They're going to take it back home and give it to their parents and their elders and their grandparents, and Miss Mary next door. And then I think we're going to end up going back to a state of shutdown and then people think, oh, I've got the vaccine. I'm free and clear. No, you're not.
No.
They did say if you get the vaccine, it's possible that you could get it, but it may not be as extreme.
Yeah.
As you didn't have the vaccine.
Absolutely. I was just about to say that, especially with the J&J.
But wait, that's all well and good, but just rock with me on this. What people don't understand, and there are now, I guess, they're not long-term studies, but once you have COVID, whether you are 16 or 60, it will affect your kidneys, your heart, and your lungs for the rest of your life. And there are still people that have allegedly recovered from COVID who suffer brain fog, memory loss, hair loss, and they still have problems breathing and functioning.
Well, let me say this. Let me ask you this then, Tonya B. What's next? What do we do? Where do we go? Because eventually it's going to have to, we're going to have to end. I mean, this thing's going to have to end. We got to get back to normal eventually. So where do we go?
It is, but if people are not willing to do, what's needed, these are my rights. I can't wear a mask. I don't want to wear a mask. You know what? Well, if you don't want to, then you go over there and sit in the corner until you close your eyes, because I don't want to be near you. It's like I'm watching out for myself, but whenever I step outside my door, I've got to watch out for the other person. Yeah. It's just like when you drive, you got to look out for the other guy. And it just, people, talk about information. The only thing worse than misinformation to me is ignorance, and so people believing that they can drink antiseptic, that's just fuckery of it all. And, and when you get people like 45 play to the lowest common denominator of intelligence that there is, I think it's like number 3. When there are people who are functional illiterate and who can't read and who can't process even news, those are the ones to me that believe the propaganda and believe the false information. Yeah. And hence, we're going to end up doing the running man in place. Trust and believe when I tell you. Yeah, so true. I'm coming over to you, BJ. So on your show right now, what are the big topics, man? What are people talking about? What's the big thing?
George Floyd, the trial is starting tomorrow for Derek Chauvin. And I got a chance to, I'm releasing the podcast tomorrow, the 20-minute morning show. I talked with his uncle named Selwyn Jones. And we had a good conversation about how he was killed and how that was premeditated because Mr. Chauvin, the officer, knew our brother, George Floyd, because they worked together for like 3 years, right?
Yep, they did.
He said,
I heard he was stalking the guy. That's how he got to the site so quickly. He was following him. He had put a GPS on his vehicle.
Wow.
And,
serious? Are you talking about the officer?
Yeah.
And
we're talking about Chauvin, yes.
I said, and I don't make the news. I just reported that he had an issue because this officer has a history of violence and domestic violence as well, and somehow thought that when his wife spoke to George Floyd at this club, allegedly, he assumed this man was going after his wife or trying to sleep with her.
Wow,
interesting.
So he said, I believe it. I believe it because you look at that video again and you study it, and this guy was not. He was intent on killing him. He was like, it's pure evil, right? Yeah. And the way he just snuffed his life out, he had no feelings, no remorse or anything. So it was premeditated. They got to prove that it was because they're talking about second degree with not intent, but they're trying to introduce the third degree.
That's what I heard.
Charge again.
Yeah.
And then, but some of the lawyers are saying, well, if they do that, and they're forcing this, the prosecutors are forcing this, and they're saying that another court can come behind and say, well, you can't do this at the last minute. This was illegal. And then they could throw the whole thing out and Chauvin gets off.
Well, let me ask you.
He said that was his worst nightmare.
Do you have any confidence in Ellison as the DA?
I used to, man. But he's such a sellout.
Yeah, I'm concerned.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm concerned.
He wants a position and he's acting like he's concerned about it, but he can't do anything about it because if they want to get him off, they're gonna do what they got to do to make sure that the police officer or gets a slap on the wrist or something. But I don't know. In my gut, I don't even feel confident, even with the video, that he would be convicted of anything.
Yeah. And my big concern about Ellison is that he was so gung-ho about murder from the beginning. I mean, trying this officer, this murderer, for murder, and even to first degree. But now, when he's talking about introducing, third degree, it's almost as if he knows something. He knows that they're not going to. Well, I think, in my opinion, he feels they're not going to be able to make second-degree stick. I mean, that's my concern. That's my concern.
Is this prosecutor black or white?
He's black.
Ellison.
Yeah, black. Ellison is black. You know. He's
okay.
Muslim brother. Yeah. Hey, man, BJ Murphy, how can people connect with your show, man?
Yeah, connect with me at my website is 20minuteshow.com. That's 20minuteshow.com. And anywhere podcasts are played, Apple, Google, Spotify, you can catch me. And let me see what else. I got my Instagram. It's BJ Murphy Media. And then my Facebook pages and Twitter are BJ Murphy Show.
Good deal. Hey, man, make sure you send me that. I can make sure I put this on the podcast page. And, we just wanted to kind of introduce you, man. I want to thank you because we carry BJ Murphy's morning show, segments of his morning show on our mornings on Castropolis from 5A to 10A. And we also, as one of our partners, we make his podcast available on our podcast page, man. I just want to say thanks, man, for collaborating, with Castropolis,
thank y'all.
Man. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much. Vi didn't say too much, man, but I know you got a lot to say, man. I'm sorry to talk too long. Vi over there sitting on the patio, man.
He comes in at the end.
He coming back.
Okay.
Don't let me, hey, BJ, don't let him fool you, man.
COVID, I just think, when it comes to the COVID shot, it's a personal choice.
Yeah.
But I turned it down I turned it down twice. And when they give you the shot, they give you so much information on you going, why am I taking it?
Yeah.
Because the information they give you, like, dang, it's not like I shouldn't take it.
Yeah.
Right.
But they warn you. All that stuff they tell you, they telling you it ain't approved.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's an emergency. It ain't guaranteed.
Right.
But hey, BJ, we checking him every week though, BJ. We checking him every week.
Good. Don't let me have my brother.
Y-O. Go ahead, Y-O.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Are you related to Eddie Murphy? Are you a Murphy?
No, I wish I was one of the Eddie Murphy boys, but I'm not.
Hey, BJ, you better shake.
I'm the broke side.
BJ, shake that tree, man. Shake that tree. Shake that tree, bro.
BJ Murphy, please, whether you're related to Eddie, Charlie, or Uncle Ray,
and Vernon,
please stay with us and sip some tea. Vernon's a half brother. Yeah. Stay with us and please sip some tea before you go.
All right, we'll see.
I want to sip some tea.
He's the B child. They kept saying on the show, he's the B child.
Okay. It depends on Thomas. Thomas, you want me to stick around for a minute?
Hey, if you can, man. If you can.
I got to finish the show up, but I can. Well, I got to finish the show for tomorrow, but I can hang up for a minute.
Well, I know. See, Tonya B, I know he's got to do his show for tomorrow. He's got other affiliates. So if you can hang, you can hang. We're going to go into a commercial break, and we'll come back with tea. And if you're still here, then just jump in.
And if not, you have an open invitation.
Absolutely. We want you back for the
Thank y'all.
All right, y'all. All right, hey,
good.
y'all give it up. Y'all give it up one more time. The Eddie Murphy is unknown brother, BJ Murphy. It ain't coming to America. It's coming to Charlotte. It's coming to Charlotte. So, yeah. Thank you, man. Queen City's in the building. Man, thank you so much. Right. Let's go to break and we'll come back with tea right after this show.
If you have been financially affected by the COVID pandemic, then this message is for you. Are you among the many folks who have lost their jobs, or if you've been furloughed or working from home at a reduced pay? If you have credit card debt and cannot make your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros can help. Call us to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. If you are struggling with credit card debt, we can help. Call 800-591-5517. That's 800-591-5517.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sipping the tea with Tonya B.
Y'all know. Uh-oh.
What you know?
You know. So it's time for tea, y'all. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm just going to throw it to Tonya B. Tonya B, what you got?
Okay, let's start off with in this latest installment of the T.I. and Tiny Chronicles, T.I., the bag is getting smaller. T.I. was due to have a part in the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania Marvel film, and he has lost that gig following the multiple sexual allegations against him and his wife, Tiny. T.I. and Tiny allegedly, it was, and I say allegedly, were offered a deal to pay off these alleged victims, and they and their attorney deny that claim. Oh, Lord. And it doesn't look like this is going away anytime soon. Just when you think it's about to quiet down, it comes back. So, and I'll get to my opinion at the end. But now there's an accuser who has come forward, and she is implicating one of T.I.'s friends. That would be the E.I. rapper Nelly, saying that he's part of this mess now, and that T.I. and Tiny forced this woman to sleep in Nelly's tour bus with him.
What?
And, yes.
It's just getting crazy.
Now, here's the thing. When you go to a T.I. and Tiny party, everybody, you know what's going down. Unless you've had your head in the sand, let's call a thing a thing. I'm not condoning, what these women are alleging, because, wrong is wrong. But now there's an attorney in Atlanta. His name is Tyrone. So call him. Now, he's the one that's going after these state and federal charges against T.I. and Tiny. And he's claiming that T.I.'s attorney reached out to him to try to, negotiate a settlement agreement. And Tyrone's asking for something I think is not going to happen. And that is this deal he's asking for.
Wow.
Would include T.I. and Tiny turning themselves in and admitting the alleged crimes. That is not going to happen.
That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. No.
But again, I say, and Tyrone is like, why Tyrone's coming to the picnic really late and with no Tupperware to go, because in Atlanta, this is old news.
Yeah.
And again, when some people just get starstruck. They want to be all up in the video. And when you go, and like I said, it's old news here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
For at least 10 years, when this was allegedly happening over the last 10 years, when the same thing in LA and New York and other places that these alleged now 100 victims, are coming forth, you know what goes down.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the deal, Tonya B. I'm going to say this.
Their events.
Yeah, I'm going to say this.
What do you?
I'm going to say this real quick. And I'm going to let you go in a minute, Y-O. But, everybody, if they don't come out with proof, they're just going to settle. Period. That's what's going to happen.
That's the thing. And
it's
nobody has come forward with any receipts.
No, nobody's got receipts.
Moment. And even, T.I. needs to stay off social media. But the only thing that I do agree with what he said is that, we are consulting, these were consenting adults. What he and his wife do in the privacy of their home and their basement sex dungeon, allegedly, that is their business.
Yep.
Because if you step into this knowing what goes on, if you step into this and you've taken money, then you've broken the law.
Yep, so true.
So the burden of proof then goes where?
Y-O, what you got? You asked
Can I step in?
Yeah, let me get Y-O in and then BJ Murphy. Go ahead, Y-O.
I did see where T.I. was on IG, and he was like, I don't have to go into what happens in my bedroom and what's consensual, but this is what they do. So my question was, what do you think, Tonya B? What do you think?
About the allegations, or
about the allegations, period. Evidently it's something that they do according to T.I.
Right, that they've been doing. And like I said, and they're dragging Candy Burroughs' name in there. They tried to drag Lauren London's name in there. Anybody that was an associate of them or people that they hung out with that are high profile people, like Nelly. I don't know. Allegedly it happened. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But at the end of the day, and here's the thing about it. Whether they did it or not, this has been going on for ages. And I'm not talking about T.I. and Tiny. Let's go back to Hugh Hefner in the Playboy Mansion. So this type of behavior, when you went to the Playboy Mansion, you knew what you were signing up for when you walked in the door. You knew what was going on in there. They had the boom boom room, with the snowfall.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, so let's get the last word from BJ. BJ Murphy, jump in.
Okay, yeah, I got to go. But my theory on that too, y'all, is, I believe it's true that they do that, right? Because now I'm not trying to say anything about Tiny or anything, but I think the only way she can keep T.I. happy is that she got to let that brother do what he do.
Yeah.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying?
And she controls the narrative. Preach, brother.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she controls it. Yeah, she controls it, and she allows them. She got to be there, and supervise. And she's saying, "Look, I got to keep this man satisfied because I got to keep him. I already have some babies by him, but I gotta let him, sow his oats so I can keep him happy."
Well, let me ask you this, Murphy. Do you think he fucks around with underage?
I wouldn't think I think he's a little better than that. But
these girls lie about their age too. Like, think about it. Girls now, I had seen girls that 1/3 my age got more boom, boom, boom than me. These girls lie about their age.
They lie about their age. They couldn't tell you age but a number. I said, no, age is more than a number.
Like I said, I'm not condoning, and I'm not saying that, I'm not discounting what their experience may or may not have been. But it takes two to tango. I'll just leave it at that.
All right. So that was what we got. Hey man, thank you so much. BJ Murphy jumped in and shut it down. There you go. Thank you, BJ. Appreciate you, man. All right. So what you got next? What you got next, Tonya B?
This is some good news. It's been 40 years since Janet Jackson took control and took us all down to the Rhythm Nation, and she has cut a deal with Lifetime and A&E, their sister networks, for a documentary. It's called Janet, of course. It's being executive produced by Randy and Janet Jackson, and it will air in 2022 for 4 hours, 2 nights each. And it is supposed to take you behind the scenes. Of course, there's always the archives and the footage, but there are supposed to be some never before seen Janet Jackson videos. And I wonder how, it's supposed to talk about, the tumultuous side of her private life. Will it talk about, the men in her life, going back to her father? Will it talk about the time that she and Randy went up to her dad's office and beat up the side chick that had the baby by Joe Jackson? And will she also talk about how she had to yoke up Michael Jackson's niece, Paris? She just, go get me a switch, Paris. This is not going to work. And she lit her up too. So I wonder if she's going to talk about that.
I doubt it.
And just talk about a mother, or let's see how much we actually get to see of her tumultuous private life. Will she talk about James DeBarge and going to get him out the crack house? So
okay. So why? I mean, wait a minute. Vi,
Brown.
Yeah, Vi had a quick question too. Vi, come on up to the mic, Vi. Come on up to the mic, Vi.
Mr. Prerogative, Bobby Brown.
Okay, all right.
Right. Janet got some miles on her car, but at least she has a good car. Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
Her car can still run. Her car still runs.
She got a Volkswagen. BMW Beamer.
I still drive. I take a seat.
I bet you would. Put me in the back. Put me in the trunk. Let me just hold on to the door handle, Janet. Go on, girl.
What you got next? Tonya B? What you got next?
I want to say a rest in peace to reggae legend Bunny Warley. He is the last of the original, that group Bob Marley and the Wailers. Passed away earlier this week at the age of 73. And speaking of Bob Marley, there is a development going on right now for a Bob Marley biopic to be on the big screen. And I'm just thinking, who could play Bob Marley?
Okay.
Exactly. But then when you think about, I Shot the Sheriff, No Woman, No Cry, the Redemption Song with, jamming, he had reggae hits that were played and accepted by mainstream America. And I'm talking, black and white and all shades in between. Yeah. So I think that would be interesting to see that part. And he's got so many children and grandchildren around. I hope they have some input, and I hope that, they are included in the development of this story.
Good stuff. Can we go into Coming to America next? Because I really want to know. No, let's get into Coming to America. We're running short. So Coming to America, y'all. Because I don't want us to be, because you'll take this thing to like the last minute of the show, and then ain't nobody gonna be able to get anything in. So Coming to America. The show of hands. Y-O, did you get to see it, by the way? Y-O, did you get to see Coming to America?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, she got to see it. Vi got to see it. Vi, you got to see it, right? All right, yes, so I'm going to start with Vi, because he's been kind of reserved today. I mean, don't give away the movie, because there's still some folks out there who haven't seen it. But what were your thoughts, man? Just real quick.
I mean, the build-up was a kind of a letdown for me, but it was an entertaining movie. But I actually think if you've never seen the original Coming to America, you're going to really be let down.
Really?
But you can sure they gave to me, they gave a good effort. It's more like I really enjoyed it because I saw all the people come back.
Okay.
But as for the movie itself, like I said, it was entertaining.
I just don't think there are that many people out there who watched it who didn't see the first one. That's just, I get you what you're saying. Tonya B, what were your thoughts real quick?
They probably think like that. It's good to see everybody.
Yeah, it was. Tonya B, your thoughts? You got a chance to see it too, right?
I did see it. If you didn't see the first one, then some of the things and bringing back some people from the original movie, it wouldn't make sense and you wouldn't be able to connect it. But one thing I'll say, can we give 500 to Ruth Carson? Those costumes in that movie were unbelievable.
Yes, they were.
In the best way. Elegant. I mean, they were, she got that. And that's why Ruth Carter.
From Spike Lee fame.
Yes. Yep. She did the doggone thing with those costumes. Shout out to Fatima Robinson for the choreography. I was a dance teacher in my former life, so I look at things like that. It was good to see the parodies. I was surprised, and they had to keep quiet. I was very happy to see the parodies. I was glad to see Gladys Knight. I was glad to see En Vogue and Salt and Pepper do What a King.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because this movie was made. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Movie was made well over a year ago, and it's a shame. It's like Pepper should have left her face like it was back then. She was just fine. I'm just going to call a thing a thing.
Yeah,
the parodies were interesting. Tiana Taylor was good. Tracy Morgan, Rodney Perry, Lunell, Leslie Jones. To me, this was the funniest I've ever seen Wesley Snipes, and I laughed more at him than anything else in the entire movie.
Yep.
And I got to say, shout out again to John Legend for his participation, and also to the legendary Nile Rodgers, who scored the first movie.
Yep.
And Nile scored the first movie, and he was part of the movie again, of course, with the title song "We're Coming to America" and the way that they blended in "We Are Family," which was actually pretty cool. So.
Yeah, very good. Hey, Y-O, real quick, let Y-O get up on the mic. Y-O, what were your thoughts on it? Get close to that mic, Y-O, so we can hear you. What were your thoughts on the movie?
Let's get us woke now. Come on.
Go for it. Is she there? She may not be there. I'll go ahead and do my thing on it. Let me say this real quick, y'all.
Can you hear me, Tom BB?
Yeah, I got you now. Yeah, get right up on that mic.
I just wanted to say that, nothing was good as the first time. Yeah. I mean, and I think a lot of people are comparing it to that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people wanted it to be really ratchet, but overall, it was okay, but it definitely wasn't as good as the first time.
Yeah.
The Coming to America, part one.
Yeah. So true. And let me say, and I agree, but the whole thing for me was just, I looked at it, and I think I sent this to y'all. I looked at it like a family reunion. Okay. It's like, it's going to be shit. Somebody going to get into a fight. Somebody gonna mess with somebody's, the cousin. Something gonna go wrong at the family reunion. But you still family. You still gonna get together. And honestly, I was just glad to see a lot of folks there doing the movie who may not be with us very long. I mean, it's good to see James Earl Jones doing his thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
As to get the opportunity to be king in this. It's unfortunate Madge Sinclair is no longer with us, but to get most of the original cast in, and give us what they gave us, I was pleased with it. I didn't expect it to be as good as the first. I mean, first of all, John Landis, who directed it, the guy who did, Blues Brothers, all those great movies, all Eddie's great movies, Trading Places. He wasn't, when I knew Landis wasn't going to be involved in it, I knew right away it wasn't going to be as good as the first, but I just give them kudos for trying. And honestly, who was it that said Wesley Snipes was funny? As funny. And
I did.
Let me say this. If you haven't had the opportunity, go to YouTube and watch Wesley Snipes doing his interviews on the tour. For the movie. Wesley is, candidly, if somebody may have to mute somebody because he got some issues, but Wesley Snipes is funnier than I've ever seen him. He is just hilarious. His whole vibe is just great. He went through a lot. He was in prison. with the tax issues. And
that's right.
Just to see him now, it's just a joy to watch him do these interviews, man, and interact. And kudos, I got to just give kudos to all the folks. The whole vibe, the cast, when you hear Tracy Morgan, Leslie Jones, when you hear them talk about it, they had a great time doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the whole thing was they enjoyed doing it. I mean, kudos. You know how many jobs this thing did? Yeah, it created 6,000 jobs.
And that baby mama, what's his name? Lavelle,
yeah.
The bastard child?
Yeah.
She was off the chain. What's her name, y'all? What's her name?
Oh, you mean the
Leslie Jones?
Do you remember her name?
The comedian or
the baby mama?
Yeah, that was
Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones.
But it was overall, y'all, it was solid. I mean, I just have to say that. But here's the other. I got to ask you about this. I mean, really, just
ask me about this.
Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak, this Silk Sonic thing. I'm gonna play a little bit of it just in case nobody, our folks, hadn't had a chance to. Hang on, just a minute. I'm gonna play. Let me get it adjusted here. Hang on. I gotta play for those who have not heard it yet. Vi, have you heard it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know Tonya B, you've heard it, right?
Yes, I have.
But for the audience members, I just got to play a little bit of it. Oh, damn. Woo. Let me say this, y'all. I hadn't heard anything this good in R&B since damn Jodeci. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's been a long time since somebody
selling today's series.
Huh? Say what now?
With a young folk by that.
Oh yeah. It's. Let me say this. Can I tell you something, Vi? It's already sold in a day almost 40,000. It's already number one on iTunes. It's already like almost close to number one on TikTok. And I think it's already got 50 million streams. It's huge.
I love it.
It's huge. And even Anita Baker went on and said, that's an old school love song. And I just have to say this, that for Bruno and to do that kind of thing in a situation where a lot of people think it's a risk and make and generate that kind of, the kind of streams already, I think it's already almost, I forgot how many, 30 million, in terms of the hits on 40 million on YouTube. He basically is just, it's almost changing the game. Tonya B, what are your thoughts? I just had to say that because I'm blown away.
I think it's taking it back to a point where, talent is required. And let me first say this. I love Anderson .Paak.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
Me too.
I'll say, and I think it's a great collaboration. And people like, this whole appropriation thing about him, people forget Bruno Mars not that he isn't white. Bruno Mars ain't white. His last name is Hernandez.
Oh, he's Puerto Rican, he's Asian, he's Filipino. I mean, he's the melting pot.
Yeah. So, he's not, so when people, they act like Robin Thicke was resurrecting R&B, so he got his bus pass, which is probably revoked more than it's been granted to him. Then you give a bus pass to, Adele, then you go back to Hall & Oates. And, they were let in, so to speak. And, some others got under the radar here and there. But it's interesting because it takes somebody like him who is, a minority, but not completely non-Black, to resurrect our music.
Yes.
So honestly, I don't have a problem with it. I'd rather hear that all day long than to hear Who shot you? I shot you. Bend over. I'll shoot you. Lick this, lick that. You know what?
Yeah. I got to say that.
Man, pick a finger.
I'm with you. I'm with you totally. I'm with you totally. Because
and if you think about Bruno Mars, it's almost like he was, an 80s baby, because a lot of his music, if you listen to it, samples people like really close to people like Kashif, may he rest in peace. I think if Kashif were alive, they would have collaborated and had a hit record. And, it also reminds me a little bit of when Kanye put out Jesus Walks. He was told, don't do it. People won't listen to it. They won't buy it. You're going to ruin your career. And that was one of his biggest records, take the mental instability, out of the picture. So for me, I can rock with it. And again, it's nice to hear something that, does not degrade women, that is not violent, misogynistic, you know what? I'll just say, tell me when I'm wrong, acknowledge me when I'm right. But I think if anybody gets mad about this, they're mad because they didn't do it first.
I just think it's not really cultural appropriation. It's cultural ass kicking, because basically this kid came up, he started doing this. He was doing this stuff when he's 3 or 4 years old. He's been doing it all his life. He was doing Michael Jackson impersonations with his family.
He did Little Richard.
Yeah, he was doing his whole family's musical. So, people are, well, he's stealing. No, he ain't. He's not stealing. I mean, he's just kicking your ass. He's making you go back in the studio and be better. And I'm telling you, in concert, he's going to kick everybody's ass in concert. I guarantee you. I guarantee. You know what it reminds me of, really? When I heard this song, a lot of people, because, you got a lot of white reviewers. They don't know music. They really, they think they know, so they can say, it sounds like something from 1973. You know what it sounds like to me, Tonya B, when I heard it the first time? It sounds like Switch. Remember Switch on Motown? Yes, I do. And
the thing is, I guess that's just like people who are not of color reviewing movies like Coming to America and Boomerang.
They don't know. They don't get it.
And even House Party. Those are our cult class. Those are our classics. That's part of our DNA.
Let me play something for you real quick. Let me play something.
I don't expect them to understand.
Yeah, and this is why I say they sound like Switch. I'm gonna play a little bit. Here we go.
I call your name, girl.
If you remember Switch, I call your name. They'll never be. That was like what, 1978,
late
70s. 80, late 70s. And when I heard it, it's funny. This is crazy. I had forgotten the song was coming out. So I had to go get my oil changed, right? So it takes about an hour. I had to wait. I had to go to the dealership. So, all right. So here's the deal. I'm listening, and I didn't even know, I forgot Bruno was coming out. Okay. So I normally take a walk in the area. They got a walking trail. So I'm taking my walk, man. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to just listen to some old school. Guess what I listened to that morning? Switch. So I'm listening to the Switch Essentials on like Apple Music. And then I get home and Millennial Nick, who produces the show, he sends me that tweet from Anita Baker, talking about, I said, damn, let me check it out. I heard it and it blew me away. It just floored. I said, God, this is amazing. So I just gotta give the brother like.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead,
you guys. Sometimes, like when we think of ourselves as minorities, but when we think globally, the people that are of color, whether they're Latino, African, or whatever, we're not the minority.
Yeah, so true. And you know what? That's a good point, Y-O, because here's the deal. When I follow Bruno on Twitter, and when I looked at the people who were commenting on the song, I saw all languages. I saw, you could tell China, you could just see all these different languages coming from all over the world. So he's exposing something that a lot of our kids, a lot of people who are going in the studio today refuse to touch. He's exposing these amazing sounds, candidly, that we grew up on, in our teen years. He's exposing this to the world again. I'm just glad, Tonya B, to see that video, which I thought was another incredible piece. I'm just glad to just watch them play real instruments. You know what I'm saying?
It takes you back, like you said, this is our DNA. So this is Switch. It's the Delphonics.
Yeah.
It's Blue Magic. It's the Dells. In anything Motown that we came up on, they know he's just gone back to the well and got the water that flowered the garden the best.
And I'm just happy he even went in. One of my favorite artists of all time from high school was Bootsy Collins. Bootsilla's going to be in the project. I'm glad to see, he got Bootsilla involved. It's just, overall, again, it ain't cultural appropriation.
Nile Rodgers is part of this project as well.
Who's again? Who again?
Nile Rodgers is part of this project as well as he was the soundtrack of Coming to America 1 and 2.
So it's going to be,
Shout out to him.
It ain't going to be cultural appropriation, y'all. It's going to be cultural ass kicking. It's going to make people change the BS that they've been throwing out. And I'm just so happy. I mean, I'm seeing, if you go to TikTok already, you see videos, you see people, the kids on TikTok doing this song. Can you imagine that? Would you have ever thought kids would be on TikTok singing this? Something like this?
I don't think kids will be on TikTok. I mean, be anywhere singing, TikTok or elsewhere, because talent is not required anymore. Yeah. And there's no auto tunes. And like I said, it's real. Like at Motown, they sat down in that snake pit and they played, like you said, Tommy B, real instruments, which means you gotta have real talent.
Damn. So all I gotta say is,
I have a question.
Go ahead, Wyo.
Was DeBarge a part of Switch?
Yeah.
Was any in DeBarge?
They were the younger siblings.
She's the younger of the bunch. So,
the two oldest one.
Yeah. Tommy and Bobby were the brothers.
Tommy and Bobby.
Yeah, Tommy and Bobby of Switch were the two lead guys, the two lead singers. DeBarge, they were his brothers and sisters. Yeah. So yeah, that's how. Because Switch,
that was Switch for DeBarge.
Yeah, absolutely. And Switch, man, I'm here to tell you, I saw Switch live when I was in high school. And they were on a show. You know how they used to do the shows, Tonya B. Got about 20 acts. And they were new, and they were out there. They're from Ohio. And they were supposed to come on before the Barcades. And nobody knew what they were going to do. When they finished, the Barcades almost didn't want to go on stage because the women were crying. They were screaming. They had, literally he had melted the women.
Wow.
Switch had melted the women to the seat. That's how bad these guys were. The only problem with the only thing that hurt Switch was, how can you say it? The cocaine, the cocaine and the criminal activity.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, right?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
So I had to say that, y'all. It ain't cultural appropriation. It's just cultural ass kicking that he's giving y'all. So go back in the studio and do better. That's all I got to say. Go back in the studio, do better. Thank you, Tonya B, for clarifying history on this too. We need that. Hey, y'all, let's do this. We're going long, so we're going to take our times and come back, take the time and come back. But while we're going to go to break real quick. And when we come back, we're going to do your woke report, and then we're going to wrap up the show. How about that? Hey, I want to take a minute to talk about the Start Your Podcast Now free webinars that happen weekly at castropolis.net. The weekly webinars happen every Wednesday at 9 p.m. and are only about a half hour. It's a great place to start and get questions answered if you're considering starting a podcast. I'm Tommy B, and I'm your host for these weekly webinars. If you're interested, go to castropolis.net and click on the banner. That's castropolis.net. Click on the banner. Also, if you're a podcaster, the Castropolis Podcast Network is looking for new shows and creatives to collaborate with. We have streaming opportunities if you're looking to stream your show with us. And also just add our Black-owned and operated network to the other platforms you're already associated with. If you're interested, email us at info@castropolis.net. That's info@castropolis.net. Again, info@castropolis.net. Also, this information will be available on the podcast page. Thank you.
Jay, you got to be down. What you ain't down? Yeah, Boogie, now I'm down. But I'm down for something positive in the community. Are you down for that?
It's the Stay Woke Report with Y-O.
Y-O, what you got?
I just want to make sure we stay woke. We can work somebody else's job, but we can also be the boss. So woman becomes first Black owner of an Outback Steakhouse in Detroit after starting as a server. And she was a part-time server.
Wow.
So 19 years went past and she actually became the owner of her own Outback steak, company. Never give up.
Never.
Always think. Yeah.
Big time.
I mean, it's one thing to punch a clock, and then it's another thing to run it, So, what's her name? I know her last name is Jackson.
That's cool. We got the story. We'll make sure we post it. What you got next?
Okay. And the other thing I have is this voting thing, you guys. The bill requiring ID for absentee voting passes Georgia Senate. So I think it's it has to pass I don't know. I'm not for sure, but the Senate approved a bill Tuesday requiring more identification for absentee voting, and I feel a little on the line because when we go to vote, we have to have our ID, and I don't know. I'm just between the line. I don't.
I hear you. You're a little conflicted about what the technical issues, when it comes down to what's required at the voting booth. And I'm going to say this, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with H.R. 1, but that's going to go before the Senate. The House has already passed it. And quite frankly, I think with H.R. 1, if we can get H.R. 1 passed, a lot of this stuff that's going on the local level will cease because it'll stop a lot of these localities, a lot of these states and these cities from actually making these situations where it's more difficult to vote, because that's, the Republicans know that the numbers are changing, that the demographics are shifting. So the only way that they can win is to prohibit people from voting in mass. So H.R. 1, be on the lookout, call your senators, call your Congress people, call your House, your representatives in your area. Make sure they vote for H.R. 1. Y-O, that should clear it. I'm here to tell you, H.R. 1, if we can get that passed on a national level, that'll help us on the local level. So good stuff, Y-O. Thank you so much. It's just that kind of day today. I think everybody's outside. Everybody's on the internet. So it's all good. Tonya B, you got anything before we get up out of here? Any last minute things that we missed that you want to go back to from entertainment?
And I think I've said plenty. I just want people to remember that, again, COVID is real. Don't let your guard down. And, it'll be less than a year before we have to go back to the voting booth again. So just, as Y-O says, stay woke, people.
Yep, stay woke. Stay woke.
This is not a rehearsal.
Absolutely. Vi, you got anything? You got anything to end with?
Brother, I'm good. Stay woke.
Yep, big time.
Vote.
Hey, one more thing. I am going to make sure, again, thanks for bringing that up on the voting side, Y-O. I'm going to have an article on the podcast page. It's from Vox. I just pulled it up too. And it talks about voting rights, especially with H.R. 1. So if you're not really clear on it and you're going to call your House of Representatives member or your senator, read this article. It'll give you some more insight into what's going on. So here's, I'll make sure I have that on the podcast page. We can't get up out of here until we hear this.
No, I didn't come here to preach to you today.
Here's your inspirational moment with Vi.
God wants us to live by his hope so that we can enjoy life. You're not going to be happy if you don't have hope. The more hope you have in God, the happier you become. Hope believes everything is going to turn out all right. Hope is positive. To enjoy life, you must maintain a good, helpful attitude. God is positive, and he wants positive things to happen to each of us. So fill yourself with his hope today and live with happy anticipation of good things. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 12. Hope defers make the heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is a tree of life. Amen. Keep hope alive.
Hey, man, you did it.
Hallelujah.
You did it, Jesse Jackson. No, he didn't do Jesse. No, he didn't. No, he didn't throw some Jesse in there. Go ahead, man. Thank you, Vi. Thank you so much. Jesse.
Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive.
We needed that. We needed that.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Y'all, thank you so much. And just got to remember, as we take the podcast, the George Floyd case begins. So just want to make sure, keep those folks in Minneapolis, man, in your prayers, because, it's going to be a tenuous situation this week. And I'm telling you, I hope Ellison, who is the DA, is on his job, because if y'all know, man, if they don't convict this guy, you know, I hate to be the harbinger of doom, but it's gonna go down. It's
going to be just like Rodney King times 10.
I mean, they just need to make sure. I mean, come on, y'all. Come on.
You know, these guys have a lot of immunity, Tommy B.
Yeah, but here's the deal. The deal is it's on tape with these other officers, especially two officers made an attempt to pull him off. So it's a little bit more than what we typically seen in a police case. So, I mean, I'm not letting up. I mean, honestly, I'm not leaning. I know a lot of folks don't have optimism in actually, trying these guys and convicting. But I if they can't convict this, if they can't get this guy convicted, they got a problem. Plus, as you know, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act has passed the House. It's going to the Senate. It's going to have a tough time in the Senate. But one thing it does do is it's supposed to reform qualified immunity. So hopefully we can get that pushed through. And again, it's a situation. Call your senator, call your House representative. Make sure they understand. Okay. Just want to say thanks to BJ Murphy for stopping by. Got to say thanks to Y-O. Thank you, Y-O, hanging in there with us today. Thank you, Tonya B. Thank you, Vi. And with that, y'all, episode 72 is in the can. Happy Women's History Month to all the ladies.
National holla.
Power to the women. Power to the women.
That's right. That's right.
And we are out of here.
Who runs the world? Girls.
Peace.
Girls.
Hallelujah.
Absolutely.
You've been listening to the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B. The G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.